Michael Hahn.
Very nice to meet you, sir.
Very nice.
How do you do?
It's very good. It's for me a great pleasure to meet a representative of European Union here in Nur Sultan, ex-Astana. I know that you are interested in all external trade of European Union with different countries, including Ukraine. So I have two simple questions. One, what exactly the future of European trade? I mean, what are the priorities for next 5 or 10 years? Is it possible to say like this?
One little correction at the beginning. I'm not a representative of the European Union. I live and work in Switzerland, but you are right. I'm working a lot on European Union law, also in its relationship with third countries like Ukraine or like China, but also like the country I live and work in, Switzerland. I'm a German citizen living and working in Switzerland. What is the future of EU trade policy? Now, I think the European Union is one of the leaders with regard to trying to save the WTO system. We'll see how that works out. I tend to be optimistic, but it really looks difficult. So I think a lot of effort will flow into that. However, in the meantime, the European Union very actively now tries to engage even more than it did in the past with regard to bilateral free trade agreements with third countries. One of the most modern countries is the agreement with you. Actually, the proposals now by the European Union with regard to dispute settlement with regard to Switzerland is based largely on the agreement with Ukraine. So you are indeed a very important, closely integrated partner of the European Union.
What are the benefits for European Union for such kind of agreements?
Very often in the past, the benefits were, from an economic perspective, maybe less big than the public would have thought. There are exceptions with some very closely integrated countries, maybe including Ukraine, certainly with regard to Switzerland. But in a world where WTO rules potentially become less important, hopefully not, but then the PTA, the Preferential Trade Agreement, the deep and comprehensive free trade agreement, is, so to speak, the only game in town. And then they become very important in order to secure the market access which the European Union wants, but also which Ukraine and other countries want. So if, big if, and hopefully not, if WTO rules lose credibility, free trade agreements will be even more important than they are now.
Instead of like I said, such kind of guarantee.
It's in a way it's a safety net. Now, the free trade agreements, in my opinion, cannot replace the WTO system. Because certain things can only be addressed multilaterally, subsidies in agriculture, certain trade remedies issues. But with regard to market access, I think they can be a safety net, a plan B, so to speak.
And the second question about the future relations between China, economic relations, and European Union. We see now some kind of deterioration of relations between US and China. And what EU will do in such kind of circumstances?
It's a very interesting phenomenon. When you look at the declarations, what is the future of the multilateral trading system, the role of the appellate body, the European Union and China are now always in parallel, and the US and Russia are always in parallel, which is really surprising. But that is only at the meta level, at 30,000 or 40,000 feet flight altitude. In reality, very often, there are more problems with our Chinese friends than there are with our American friends.
Why?
Because China is playing a game which some people think is not completely fair and transparent. So, for example, One Belt and Road, I'm a big fan of One Belt and Road. I've been involved with One Belt and Road.
As
a researcher and also in China. But there are some experiences in Europe, Montenegro, but also elsewhere, but also in Sri Lanka, in Bangladesh and Malaysia,
South Asia,
where the experiences are suboptimal, where the impression is that China is not completely living up to its its stated will to make this a winning proposition for both sides. The Chinese say win-win, and they imply you win, I win, and some of these countries are now saying you are winning twice and we are winning nothing. That's a problem. China has seen that, and they have reacted to that in the last summit, Belt and Road Summit. So we'll see how that develops. So at a strategic level, quite a surprising parallelism, between the European Union and China. On the ground, maybe less so.
Vielen Dank.
Thanks to you,
Yeah, thanks to
and
you.
have a lovely stay in Nur Sultan. Thank you.